Joey Diaz gave me a book once on, it's called Murder Machine, about Roy DeMeo. Roy DeMeo was, he was a hitman who became a serial killer. He's basically a sociopath, and they just a total psychopath. And they had like a room, and they would take guys to the room upstairs and just chop them up in the bathtub, and they would kill people like constantly. He was killing like 100 people.
I came in, I saw them, and out of respect, you say hello. Doesn't mean you're going to sit down and get into a conversation and say, okay, who'd you kill next door?
100 people he killed?
Yeah, who knows how many he killed.
Jesus.
Killed so many people.
Whoa.
And the book is terrifying. The book is called Murder Machine. But it's all about that guy. See if you like find Roy DeMeo, the story of Roy DeMeo.
Well, imagine if you're an organized crime family and you find a guy who's a serial killer. He enjoys doing it.
Yeah, first-rate story of a mafia murder crew so deadly that even John Gotti turned aside a contract on its leader. New York Daily News reports Mustaine and Capecci, co-authors Mobstar in 1989, tell a fascinating and repellently detailed story of Roy DeMeo and the gang he raised from teenagers in Carnegie.
This is the Horror Hotel. This was the place where the DeMeo Crew chopped up the bodies of their murder victims and packaged them and shipped them off to the dump. They disposed of a couple of dozen bodies here.
The Horror Hotel?
Horror Hotel, right.
Check in.
Never get out, that's right.
A Brooklyn neighborhood where death by natural causes is 6 bullets in the head, according to one cop. The middle-class DeMeo, a natural criminal, was carrying cash in brown paper bags and driving a Cadillac by his high school senior year. After establishing Lone's trucking headquarters in his Gemini lounge in Brooklyn, he shipped scores of stolen luxury cars to Kuwait, distributed drugs. One of his crew was the chief supplier of cocaine at Studio 54. When the inevitable business disputes arose, his crew simply made the other parties disappear. The victims were lured into a clubhouse behind the Gemini lounge before they were shot and dismembered.
Into the apartment, there was a hallway leading into a kitchen. And usually he would be immediately shot in the head with a silencer. And whoever shot him, usually Roy, would wrap a towel around his head to stop the blood from going all over. And then Chris Rosenberg would jump out with a knife in his underwear, because he didn't like to get his clothes dirty, and stab the person in the heart, so it would stop the blood from flowing. And they'd take him, put him in a shower, and cut his throat, hang him upside down, and bleed him.
Where Debbie Doyle lived.
It's just like living anywhere else. It just bothered me the first night when I read about it in the paper.
What bothered you?
All the blood that went down the drain from the bodies. You know, I kind of felt eerie when I took a shower. But otherwise than that, it really didn't bother me, because I feel when people are dead, you're dead.
It's just like taking apart a deer, he says, and then secured in hefty bags and tossed on the Carnegie dump. One murder led so easily to another that soon the Gemini method was used on anybody who got in the gang's way or annoyed them. DeMeo presented 3 of his coke-crazed crew with a set of custom carving knives, which they kept in their car trunks in case a quick assignment arose. With a special NYPD FBI task force cracked the DeMeo gang, it tagged the criminals for 75 murders. DeMeo, who was rubbed out by fellow mobsters as the cops closed in, bragged of 100 personally, making him far more destructive than any known U.S. serial killer.